Recording in progress.
About to start. Lovely. So as always, if anything doesn't feel right, stop, readjust, let me know, and all of those good things. And there are obviously modifications that I can give to make things easier or harder depending on how you're feeling. So, right, find a good position. Have a look around you, see where your feet are. They should be in line with your knees. And I know camera angles often lie, but we'll start working on our arms and our shoulders. So elbows just slightly proud at the front and they stay in position. And all we're going to do is breathe either out or in, I don't mind. So we're just taking our arms out to the side, keeping the elbows still. So you should start to feel some nice strength and stretching through the front of the shoulder. Nice and slow. So we want to start harnessing the power of our breath, drawing the tummy button in towards the spine, squeezing the bottom. Because the more we stay in this position, the more you just want to sort of sink back. So it's more about keeping upright, keeping your core control and allowing the shoulders to loosen and start to move with a little bit more freedom. That's it, lovely. And then turn your palms to face each other and we will do the same thing, pressing with the back of the hands. So no wiggling of the wrists. Again, a very subtle change in where you might feel this. I feel it a little bit more around the back of my arms, around the triceps. And again, if you think you're just wafting and you can't feel any strength or resistance, just use the power of your imagination and imagine you're pressing through water or that someone's pressing their hand against yours. And hold it in that open position and turn the palms to the ceiling and lift your heart ever so slightly. Turn the palms back and then close. I like to breathe out to open. Breathe in to open and lift the chest and get a nice breath. And then breathe out to close, a little breath to prepare and breathing out to press away. Breathing in to rotate the arms, lift the heart, back again. And final time, breathing out all the time, a little squeeze of the bum, little tummy button to spine action going on, little back extension there and back. Then arms out in front. And again, I'll just turn sideways so you can see. We're going to pull straps. So making a fist, draw the elbows close to the body, taking the elbows behind and again, lifting the heart without lifting the shoulders up and then forward. Again, nice breath out, keeping hold of the tummy button, keeping the shoulders down and forward. That's it. Again, it's a lovely, strong, controlled movement. And it's really good if you feel tight through the upper shoulders, through the upper back. One of the most simple, but one of my most favorite exercises. 2 more. Keeping the bum squeezed to keep you nice and upright. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Then let's add on rotation to this. So just one arm, bending, pulling back, keeping the hips forward. And then rotate the other way. So still palm to the ceiling. And you almost want to press the hips forward. So you do feel that lovely stretch and rotation around the middle. So you're really focusing And keeping those hips stable as you rotate. That's it, keeping the shoulders relaxed, and again, get a little bit of strength through that arm. So imagine you're really, excuse me, pulling something with some weight on it. Lovely, one more each side. And then arms can just hang loosely by your side, and we will side bend in this position, still keeping the bum nicely engaged. Just reach one arm down towards the knee, towards the floor. It may or may not touch tummy button to spine to stand up. So as we do side bends every time, you want to imagine you're between two panes of glass or something keeping you, so there's no twisting forward or back. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, loosening up the sides. And if there's any pain in the back, just keep it really small. That's it. And if you're happy, you can take one arm up overhead just to get a lovely stretch down the side, and simply bring it back again. Just increasing the work. That's it. Oh, beautiful. It feels so nice at the end of the day. And a little reminder, one more each side. As I bent over that time, I stuck my tummy out. Shocking. Keep it drawn in just in case you're doing what I've done. Final time. And again, we'll go back to rotation. So again, I will turn sideways. We're going to have Charlie's Angels arms, and keeping those bums squeezed to keep the hips forward. Rotate to one side. Eyes will be looking at your thumbs at all times. Then curl the upper body forward, pressing your bottom forward so you don't sit back, and you're reaching your upper body towards your knee, bringing it back up. Tummy button to spine for extra strength as you center, and over to the other side. So it's like a little oblique chest lift, except we're obviously kneeling. And it's quite hard to keep pressing the hips forward. So really work at that, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Make the movement as big as you can without sitting back. But again, if there's any pain, don't do too much. So you're really getting a two-way stretch on that angle. Keep breathing. That's it, lovely, it's good. Very nice. Breathing out to curl forward, really stretching and pressing the bum back to center. And do one more on each side, or balance yourselves up with a final one if you've already done one to the first side. Lovely. And then we will move forward onto our hands and knees. So we're going to work in this position for quite a while for some of the exercises. So Sandra, if your wrist hurts, start to work down on forearms. And for anybody, if wrists start to hurt, work on your forearms and just stop at any point, release things off. Simply to start with, we're going to work on our ab release. So as we always do, you want to have a nice flat back, shoulders away from the ears, and simply relax. So you let your tummy hang down towards the floor. And then without moving your back, breathing out, draw the tummy button into the body so it lifts in away from the mat. So you're still maintaining a still back. And then as you breathe in, allow the tummy to hang. Breathing out, draw it in. So you're just getting control of those abdominals. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed and the back nice and flat. So back stays still. Just keep breathing through that. Every time you breathe out, you're drawing the tummy into the body without moving the back. And every time you breathe in, you're allowing the tummy to reach for the floor. Maud, bring your shoulders away from your ears a little bit more. Think drawing the scapula down the back. Hilary, can you move your arms in closer, slightly closer towards your knees? Just ever so slightly. That's it. That's better. 2 more. Yes. And then, of course, just relax. If you need to release the wrists, have a little wiggle. And then I'd like you just to draw in your tummy and take it to about that 50% effort. And that you want to be breathing throughout all the exercises as always. And from here, keeping those abs engaged, we're just going to hitch one hip up towards an elbow, back to center, and then hitch it the other way. And again, all the time, you're trying to keep the back straight. So you might have a natural little dip, but you don't want to increase it or tuck under or anything. You're just keeping, imagining you're balancing a nice bowl of nibbles or a cup of tea or something on your pelvis. So you're trying to keep everything nice and flat. And again, keep the movement small or large, depending how your back is feeling. That's it. Good. Bizarrely challenging, I find. Just a couple more. And then let's do some little tail tilts. So simply as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone under, like we do the pelvic tilts or the cat, but just tiny, and then send it back to the start. And then a little bit up to the ceiling, flatten it out. And then tuck it under again. All the time, drawing up through the abdominals. So just getting a little bit of movement through the lower back. That's right, Hilary. Neil, that's it. Tiny movements. So imagine your tailbone. You're just drawing a line to the floor and to the ceiling. So really trying to get the pelvis moving below the hips rather than anything else. Nice mobility. Couple more. And then the final one in the sort of warm-uppy section of this bit, we will do our nice protraction retraction. So starting with a flat back, allow the shoulder blades to draw around your back as if they're going to kiss. And then pressing them away. So you're lifting your upper body away from the mat a bit. Again, all the time using the abs, and the rest of the back is staying nice and flat. So no tilting of the pelvis now. It's simply the shoulders doing some work. And down on the forearms, the same thing can be happening. It's your back of the shoulders widening and then closing together. Keeping the head nodded, so crown of the head is reaching away. Imagine you're holding a tennis ball or an orange under your chin. One more. And then let's take it into a full lovely cat. So back into a nice straight back to start with, tucking the tailbone under like we did, working up through the spine, allowing the head to hang, double check where your feet are, breath in at the top, and unpeeling from the pelvis again to a nice flat back again, keeping those abdominals engaged at all times until the crown of the head reaching away. And again, tucking under, curling up through, allowing the head to drop, breath in at that point, and unpeel from the tailbone. So someone's walking their hands up your spine to flatten it back out again. And then drop the head first. It's on your next one. Then upper back arches, then lower back and tailbone tucks under. Breath in there. And think about the shoulders sliding away from the ears to help flatten the upper back first, then middle back, then lower back. And again, dropping the head. Lifting the shoulders up to the ceiling rather than the ears, so the upper back moves. First, then middle, then lower, that's it. And unpeeling from the head. And then sit back once you've finished, give those wrists a little bit of a wiggle. So you're just going to come back down, do a couple of dog type exercises, back on our hands and knees or forearms, whichever works for you. So nice start, simply sliding an arm and leg away on the floor for a couple, keeping the abs engaged, keeping the back straight. You want to be in control of this so you're not shifting at any point. And when you're happy tonight, then of course you can lift and stretch an arm and leg away, coming back to the position you started in. So we're trying not to walk along the mat and coming back. That's it. And really think length. Imagine you're being pulled in two directions. That's it. Good. So think about keeping those hips facing the floor. So you don't want to lift and twist. If you find or think you've got any leaning forward or twisting, just make the movement a little bit smaller. Good. That's it, Sandra, lovely. Let's add on to that. So next time you extend an arm and leg, you're going to bend the elbow, bend the knee, and do a little cat in the middle, or a little Bruce Forsyth, as Angela used to call it, stretching away and coming back. And then change sides. So lengthen, stretch, then really drawing the knee and the elbow towards each other, lengthen, stretch away again, and place everything down. That's it, lovely. And you can nod your head towards as you bend in the middle, that's fine. Keeping it nice and slow. Of course, we're still using our breath and our strength to be in control of what our body is doing. We can luxuriate in that. One more of these on each side. We're all going different times. We'll do a similar thing. You're going to stretch your arm and leg away, and this time take the knee to the elbow on the outside. So it's a little Spiderman. And change. So stretch first, back straight. So imagine you're climbing up a wall, just like Spider-Man. So you're opening the hip out to the side. That's it, good. So a little balance challenge as well. Lovely. Very nice. Again, one more on each side. And then sit back. Give the wrists some nice loving attention. And then you can come down onto the mat. So have a little wiggle of your legs to start off with. You can have your head just resting lightly on your hands. And we're going to start with some bum squeezing. Very nice and simple, but very effective and important. So as always, just relax to start off with. Feel your pubic bone earthed into the mat, legs stretching away, shoulders down. And when you're in your nice relaxed position, just squeeze the bum 100% and think narrowing in at the hips and then lifting the bum. That doesn't sound right. And then relax. So you want to hold it for a count of 5 tonight. Narrow in to squeeze and hold. And then relax. So I want you to really feel the difference between that strength and engagement and the relaxation. So you want the muscles to fire and work on command. And we're also trying to isolate them. So we're hopefully not feeling too much movement through the leg or through the back. And again, you can think about which muscles you're trying to move and direct your attention using your imagination just to those areas. Good, I'm seeing some good difference in engagement and relaxation. That's lovely. 2 more. Wonderful. And then staying in this position, you can separate your legs if they're close together. And we'll do some hamstring curls, just nice simple ones to start off with. So working on your right leg, simply bend to about 90 degrees with a nice flexed foot, and then extend away again. So let's stay on the same side, do 10 of these. Nice and slow. So I want you to think about the alignment. Just imagine you're drawing your heel towards the midline of your bum. And then really extending the leg away again. That's it. So make sure your leg goes fully to the floor in between each one. That's it, Hilary, good adjustment. And then after 10, changing legs. Because as ever, I've lost count. I'm too busy watching. Looking good. Using your breath, still think about the abs, even in this position, a slight engagement of tummy button away from the mat, shoulders as relaxed as they can be. Good. And then when you've done, feel free to sit back into a child pose so I can see who's finished. Fabulous. Really send your bum back to the heels. Breathe through that. And then coming back onto the mat, we'll work through a cobra and then build up to a swan dive. So this time, legs are separated, legs are rotated, so you're on your big toe joint, and arms are out in front. So you want to think tailbone reaching away as always, shoulders away from the ears, bending the elbows towards the chest, and then thinking lengthening through the crown of the head, just lifting the upper body forward and up, and then bringing yourself back down to the mat, and arms can stretch away. If you're feeling comfortable already and you're happy to, you can of course squeeze the bum extra and just straighten the arms as well. So I leave it to you. And of course you can come in with straight arms too. So it depends how you're feeling, how your back is feeling. The key things are keeping the chin nodded. Imagine the crown of the head is leading and the heart is leading. Your bum is squeezed. You should feel nothing in the lower back. You should feel a beautiful stretch through your tummy button, through the front of your chest as you're in that up position. That's it. And the shoulders are drawing down your back. So it's almost as if they're pulling the chest up as the shoulders draw down. Good. 2 more. It's looking nice. And then from there, lift your chest ever so slightly, and you can come onto your forearms and make a fist. You can bring your legs slightly closer together, and we'll do our single leg kick, which is like our hamstring kick. It's 2 kicks, one with a pointed foot and one with a flexed foot. So you're having to think, drawing in through the abdominals, shoulders down, tummy away from the mat, bum squeezing, hamstrings working, and they're working a little bit faster, and you've got to be in control of that changeover. That's it. Lovely. Good. Oh, I'm really pleased with this. You're all in complete control of your legs, which is wonderful. Sounds mad to say it, but many people are not. Good. Little tweaks, think up through the ribs, crown of the head reaching away. Don't sink into the shoulders because you can put some strain on that, on them even. One more set on each side. And then when you've done that, Definitely go back into your child pose, stretch your arms out, press your bum back to your heels to release any tension that has crept in. Because we're coming back down onto the mat. We're going to put the Cobra and some leg work together, which we've done many times before, but start with your arms bent at shoulder blade level. Legs are turned out, bum is squeezing. You're going to keep the bum squeezed and come up into that lifted position. You're going to keep the bum squeezed, lower yourself down, lifting your legs, stretching them away with pointed feet, and then flex your feet and beat together for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Separate the legs, point the feet. Tummy button to spine, rock backwards so your legs go down and you're back in your Cobra. And then slowly bend the elbows again to take yourself down, lifting the legs, flexing the feet and beating for 10, 9, 8. Together, Sandra, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the feet. Come back into the Cobra as the legs go down. That's it. And again, bend the elbows to take your upper body down. So forward and down, the legs are lifting. Flex the feet and you beat your legs together for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final point of the feet. Legs come down, you're lifting up. This time, we're going to we're going to reach our arms forward and then bring yourself back up. So like a little rocking horse, our swan dive, trying not to smash our noses on the floor, especially when they're as big as mine. They lead the way. So that's it. It's quite tough. Good board. So that's strength in the bum, legs stretching away. You're in a little arc position. That's it, Hilary. Good. One more. Wonderful. Then definitely big child pose. Send your bum to your heels. Stretch your arms out forward. Breathe deeply into your lower back. Fantastic. Well done. Let's ease off a little bit. So grab a cushion, have it behind your head. We work on our side and do a lovely chest release. I always like doing this to unwind everything after a bit of work. So if you're happy to, palm on palm, think about shoulder position, hip position. Just stretch that top hip away from you. And we will do 2 arms up to the ceiling, rotating, keeping the knees and hips glued, watching where the arm goes behind you. And then tummy button to spine to help bring the ribs back and the arm back. And then one more here. So keep drawing the waist away from the mat. So you're in control of what your body's doing still. Breathing out to bring the arm back to the ceiling and back to the start. And then we will do some arm circles in this position. So 2 with the arm going over your head first. Make the circle as big or as small as you need to. If there's any pain, keep it nice and small. That's it. Still trying to keep the knees and hips as stacked as possible. And then reverse that arm circle so the arm reaches to the knees first. Palm will probably turn to the ceiling as it goes to the side, up and overhead, back to the start. One more of those. Again, keeping it nice and slow so you can be in control of everything that your body's doing. That's really good positioning, everyone. And then you can relax, sort of. Nice long position, finding that point where you need to try and balance on the hip bone. Underneath waist again is drawing up. Camera angles do look very dodgy. Let's have a look. And we'll do a double leg lift. So breathing out, think long in the top hip. And then coming back down. So make sure you can see your feet out of the corner of your eye. If you're hovering your head, you make sure you're looking at the mat so you're not putting any tension through the neck. Coming back down. So breathing out to lift. And breathing in to lower. So it's a nice long arrow-like position. Keeping the legs glued together as straight as you can. Good. That's it. I'm going to say, Sandra and Hilary, can you put a hand on the floor in front of you just to make sure you don't rock back? It's much more important to keep control and get the technique right than overdo it. That's it. That's better. Good. Very nice, Maud and Caroline. Very good. One more. Lovely. Then we're going to do lifting the top leg to hip height, squeezing the underneath leg up, bringing the underneath leg down, bringing the top leg down. So again, hand in front for balance. As lightly as you can, keeping the tummy button drawing in. Thinking about lengthening the top hip away as the leg lifts. And so then you have to really think, squeezing the inner thigh of the underneath leg, getting that to work as well. So up, up, down, down. And remember, the feet are just there at the end of your legs. They're not doing anything in particular. All the work is being focused through the inner thigh, the underneath leg, and of the top thigh of the top leg as you stretch that away to get some length and stability. Lovely, Sandra, good. And of course, relaxing the shoulders, drawing the waist away from the mat so you've got some strength and control through the middle of your body, using the abdominals. That's it. Very good. One more set of these. And then we are going to take the ante up a bit, coming onto your forearm. Think about the shoulder away from the ear so you've got some nice width. Underneath leg slightly further forward, top leg to hip height. And we're going to two kick forward, so it's our side kick, and then point the foot and you can reach your upper body forward. So kick, kick, reach. Kick, kick, reach. So you are getting a little bit of movement through the upper body. You're still trying to keep the top leg at hip height, and you're still drawing the underneath waist away from the mat, shoulders away from the ears. And imagine you're trying to draw on the wall at the very end of your rooms with your toes. So you're getting some lovely length through the leg as much as you can. That's it. Good. One more. Because we're going to stay up here, just bring the legs back in line with each other as much as you can, so you can still see them. point the toes away from you and we'll do our hot potato. So still drawing the underneath waist away, lifting the leg up so the little toes or the side of the foot is to the ceiling and it stays in that position. So 2 taps forward with a straight leg and 2 taps behind. So you're trying to get the leg as high as you can in between, but it might not be very high at all. And it will start to burn through the glute minimus and medius and the side of the hips. And think underneath, lifting you up, shoulders away from the ears. So a lot of strength being held through the side of your body, through the obliques, allowing your leg to move. Let's do one more set because it should be burning right now. Oh, yes. Good. All right, well done. After that last one, lie on your backs. We will stretch out and then do the other side. So our lovely hip rolls, feet either side of the mat, and just drop one knee to the floor, other knee to the first leg ankle, turn away, a couple of breaths there, then re-engage the abdominals if they've gone walkabout to bring your knees back to the ceiling, and then over to the other side. So you're really stretching out, turning away from those knees, tummy button to spine to come back. And then roll over onto the side you've not worked, starting with our lovely chest release. So grab your pillow again if you need it, which most of us do just for comfort. Getting that nice position so you've got your knees bent up as if you're sitting in an imaginary dining room or formal chair. And then breathing in, take the arm to the ceiling, breathing out, keeping the knees and the hips stacked, rotating the ribs to take the arm behind you, keeping control of it though, don't just let it flop to the floor, and stretch the shoulder. It's all about that mobility, being in control of what your limbs and body is doing. Breathing out to re-engage, coming back to the start. And then 2 arm circles, taking the arm up overhead first. Feeling that lovely stretch as you take the arm round. So 2 up to the head, using your breath. And then reverse the direction, so down, sweeping past your knees first, turning the palm round and coming back. All the time, keeping the abs engaged, keeping the hips and knees as still as possible, getting movement through the upper body and controlling the arm. So it's a lovely stretch as much as anything else. And then after your second and last one, you lengthen out, underneath arm, legs together, finding your balance point, hand in front if you need it. And it's our lovely double leg lift, breathing out to lift and hover, breathing in to send yourself down. So it really doesn't have to be very high, just a long, low, whatever you can control, but trying to keep the shoulders down as well. Abs engaged, drawing your underneath waist away from the mat. Breathing out to lift and hover, breathing in to relax back down. Looking at the mat to keep your neck safe. That's it, very nice. Yes. Keep breathing, keep engaged. 2 more. And then it's lifting that top leg to hip height, squeezing the inner thigh, lower leg comes down first, then top leg. So as before, think long and lengthening away as you lift and lower the legs, because that will help keep the abs engaged, keep straight through the leg. It will also make you have to work a little bit harder. And it should feel lovely once you finish. Good control, that's really nice. Really, really good. I'm not seeing any banana ring, which is fabulous. Two more. Good, then our hot potato. Oh no, it's our thigh kick first, isn't it? So coming up onto our forearm, underneath leg slightly further forward, top leg really, really reaching away, and then two kicks forward, and then a nice little point of the leg and the foot. That's it. Good, keeping the abs drawn in. That's it, trying to keep the leg at hip height. Couple more, don't sink into the shoulders. If you're down here, you're thinking tall and proud, diagonal through, stretching both ways. Then bring the underneath leg back in line, lifting the top leg, side of the top of the foot to the ceiling, and it stays there, keeping the knee as straight as you can. 2 taps forward, 2 taps back, getting that lovely burn through the hips, through the glutes. Trying to keep the upper body as stable as you can do, keeping the side of the foot pointing to the ceiling at all times, which will get that burn happening a lot quicker. That's it. Brilliant. Really nice. So as you can tell, this is working the hip. Very strong. 2 more if you can bear it. That's it, lovely. And then after that, we can stretch it out again with our hip rolls. So again, very elegantly, feet either side of the mat, knee to the floor, second knee to the first elbow, ankle, and turn away. Breathing out, tummy button to spine, and reverse the direction. So you're feeling the hip stretch, hip flexor stretch, and coming back. And then you can shuffle your feet slightly further together, but back to hip width, basically, because we are then going to do a little bit of bridging just to finish off the back sides of our body. So find a position. If you find you're cramping at all, just move your knees, heels closer, narrow, breathing out, lifting onto that nice long diagonal, and then coming back down again. So narrow, breathe out and lift. So you don't want to be up so you're really arching. You're in a nice long diagonal line and coming back down. One more basic one. Squeeze the bum, lift, keeping the shoulders relaxed. That's it, good. And then coming back down again. We'll do what we did last week, lucky us. So we're going to breathe out, squeeze the bum, come up. Then we're going to come onto our toes. And we're going to march, actually. So with the arms on the floor, it does help. If you're finding that really easy, if you take your arms away, you might suddenly cramp through the calves, but it highlights weaknesses in the hips. Come down from your toes if you find it too uncomfortable. Wow. Fabulous, guys. Really good. I find this so difficult. Well done. One more on each side. And then come back down to the mat. And then lengthen your legs away, just lie. And point and flex your feet, just to release those calves off. Because even if you found that easy, they will have been working really hard. Good. Then back up to our lovely semi-supine. Knees to the ceiling, feet hip width apart. Hands behind your head, palm over palm. We will curl up. So breathing out, keeping the pelvis down and still, sliding the ribs forward and breathing in to return to the mat. Just a basic curl up. So powerful. That's it. Lovely. So you don't have to come up very high again. You're pressing your head into the palms of your hands. Shoulders are nice and wide and relaxed. Good. Nice and smooth. Breath out to curl forward. Use your breath in to return to the mat. And I'm watching for any pelvic tilting or anything going on, and I can't see it, so I'm really pleased. That's lovely. 2 more. Breathing out, curling forward. Breathing in to return. This time, final time, breathing out, curl forward. Stay there in that curl up position. Lengthen your arms away. Bring one leg into tabletop if you can. Squeeze your tummy button to bring the other on. And either keep legs here or lengthen them away. And we will beat the arms and breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. If it's too much on your back, bend your knees in again and put your feet down on the floor. Whatever you're doing, nailing your tummy button through your body to the mat behind you. We're on 100 for those of you who don't recognize it. You should all do that by now. Final time. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then roll back, hug your knees into your chest. Have a little rock from side to side. That was wonderful, really stable. Okay, from there, as we're coming to the end of class already, I can't believe it. Let's roll like a ball, but from here, get some momentum. So nod the chin, press the shins away. Start just rocking forward and backwards till you come up to that balance point. And then hold it there. You can slightly separate your knees, hands to your ankles, and then go into the full rolling like a ball, where you're in control, keeping that lovely C curve, trying to keep your legs in the same position as they start and finish. If it's too much on your back, just find your balance point and rock forward and back. So you're controlling that. Lovely. Good, Sandra. That's it, Hilary. Just balance and rock the pelvis. Good, Maud. Well held for that. One final time. And then relax down. I have so much more to give, but we're out of time. So let's just extend one leg to the floor, bend the other leg up, and we will do some little leg circles. And I will save my plethora of exercises until next time. Allow the leg to be really heavy in the hip joint because the hips have worked quite a lot tonight. And then reverse the direction. So you're stirring paint in that hip joint, keeping the body as stable as you can. So you're still using your abdominals, still in control, still getting some movement through your joint. And then change legs. So lengthen the leg away, bend the other knee up. And again, allow the leg to be really heavy. And then you're just stirring the thigh bone through your hip. Nothing too dramatic. Breathing, relaxing a bit, and then reversing the direction. That's it. Isolating that movement through the hip. And then put your feet down, bring the other foot in line, again in semi-supine. We will finish class with a little pelvic tilts. So thinking, breathing out, curling the pubic bone towards you, peeling the spine off. Breath in to hold. Breathing out, soften, really soften through the chest. Like we did with our little cat stretch, working the spine down piece by piece. And again, if you want to, you can bring your arms up with you. You can take them overhead so you get a beautiful stretch as you breathe in. You can leave them there to increase the stretch as you soften through the body to place the spine down. Bringing the arms up and over, down by your sides. One final time. Breathing out. Peeling off. Taking the arms overhead if you want to. Keeping the chin nodded as well, to avoid them migrating up to the ceiling and putting any strain on the neck. Finishing off, arms up to the ceiling, down by your side. And then you can collapse. It's over again. Well done. Just breathe, relax. Did really, really well.